Today, I am taking you far away from the safety of the ground. We are not going to a haunted bunker or a deep mine. Today, we are going to the edge of space. We are climbing to 85,000 feet above the Pacific Ocean, into the death zone where your blood boils without a pressure suit. We are jumping into the cockpit of an SR-71 Blackbird, the fastest plane ever built, to uncover a classified incident from 1974. You think the sky is empty? You are wrong. There are things up there that feed on clouds, and pilots. If you enjoy these deep dives into military horror and want to see more classified files opened, please hit that subscribe button right now and like the video. It supports the channel and keeps us broadcasting. Check your oxygen supply. We are taking off.
Mayday, Mayday, this is Blackbird 1-1. I have a visual on the bogey. I repeat, visual contact confirmed.
Control here, Blackbird 1-1. Say again, radar is clear. You are alone up there, Major.
I am not alone. God, it is looking at me. It is matching my speed. I am at Mach 3.2. Nothing can fly this fast.
Major, check your oxygen mix. You might be hallucinating due to hypoxia.
It is not hypoxia. It is touching the canopy. It is vast. It is made of clouds and teeth.
Major, you are losing stability. Eject. I repeat, pull the handle.
I cannot eject. If I open the canopy, or it will get in. No. Stay back. Stay away from me.
Let's rewind the tape. 6 hours before the screaming started. My name is Major Thomas Vance. Call sign, Viper. I fly the SR-71 Blackbird, the titanium goose. It is the fastest, highest-flying aircraft ever built by human hands. We do not fly this machine. We wear it. You have to wear a full pressure suit, just like an astronaut, because where we are going, the air is so thin that if the cockpit depressurizes, your blood would boil instantly. We are not pilots. We are astronauts who never left orbit. The mission was simple. Operation High Look, a routine reconnaissance flight over the northern Pacific, near the Aleutian Islands. Intelligence said there were the strange magnetic anomalies in the area. They wanted photos. At 0600 hours, I climbed into the cockpit. The ground crew strapped me in. The heavy canopy locked down. From that moment on, I was in my own private world. Just the hum of the avionics and the sound of my own breathing. We took off. The power of the J-58 engines hits you right in the chest. We climbed 10,000 feet, 20,000 feet. At 30,000 feet, we passed the commercial airliners. They looked like motionless toys down there. We kept climbing. The color of the sky changed. Blue became dark navy, then purple, and finally, at 80,000 feet, the sky became pitch black. Angels. 80. That is what we call it. It is quiet up here. The engines are behind you. You are moving faster than the sound you make. You are outrunning your own roar. I looked out the window. To my left, the curvature of the earth. A beautiful, glowing blue marble. To my right, the infinite darkness of space. I keyed the radio. Control, this is Blackbird 1-1. Leveling off at Angels 80. Speed is Mach 3. Systems are green. Control replied. Copy that, 1-1. Proceed to target coordinates. Cameras on. I felt untouchable, looking down at the world from the edge of space. No missile could catch me. No fighter jet could reach me. I was the king of the sky. Or so I thought. At 0745, I entered the target zone. The magnetic anomaly. My instruments started to glitch. The compass spun wildly. The radar screen flickered with ghost signals. Control, I said. I am getting some interference here. Instrumentation is jumpy. Roger, 1-1. It is the magnetic field. Stick to visual navigation. I looked out the canopy again. Below me, there was a massive storm system. Cumulonimbus clouds stacking up like mountains. Usually, storms top out at 40,000 feet. But these clouds, they were reaching up. High. Too high. They looked like gray fingers trying to touch the stratosphere. And then I saw it. A shadow. Not a shadow on the clouds. A shadow in the sky. Above me. Blocking the sun. I squinted against the harsh glare. Something was flying above me. But that was impossible. The SR-71 has a service ceiling of 85,000 feet. Nothing flies higher than us except satellites. Control, I said, my voice tight. Do we have company up here? Any U-2 spy planes or satellites in the vector? Negative, 1-1. You are the only bird in the sky. Why? I watched the shadow. It was massive. It looked like a cloud, but it was moving against the wind. It was solid. I have a visual on a bogey, I said. 12 o'clock high. It is large. Define large, Major. Bigger than an aircraft carrier, I whispered. It is translucent, like a jellyfish, but it is moving fast. Major, check your oxygen, Control said. Standard procedure. Hypoxia can cause hallucinations. I am checking my oxygen. O2 levels are green. I am telling you, there is something above me. Then the thing dived. It did not bank. It did not roll. It just dropped. It fell from the black space above and leveled off right next to my left wing. I turned my head. I stared at it. And for the first time in my career, I forgot how to fly. It was not a machine. It had no wings, no engines, no cockpit. It was a biological mass. Semi-transparent skin, pulsing with a faint blue light. Inside, I could see veins as thick as tree trunks, organs the size of houses, and eyes. Thousands of tiny glowing eyes along its side, and they were all looking at me. Control, I whispered. It is alive. I slammed the throttle forward. Afterburners lit up. The jet roared. I was pinned to my seat. The speed indicator climbed. Mach 3.1, Mach 3.2. I was moving faster than a rifle bullet. Nothing on Earth, living or machine, could catch me. But it did. The massive entity on my left did not even struggle. It floated effortlessly. Its skin rippled. The laws of aerodynamics did not apply to it. Control, it is chasing me. I am increasing speed, but I cannot shake it. Radar is clear, Major. Your sensors must be malfunctioning. Please abort and return to base. You do not understand. Radar cannot see it because it is not made of metal. It is made of meat and cloud. The entity moved closer. Only 50 meters separated us. It was so close I could see the details on its skin. There were pores. It was breathing, and from those pores, it was venting a gas, a vapor. I realized then, the clouds, the storm below me, it was not natural. This thing was creating the storm. It was a weather engine. Suddenly a sound came over my radio, but it was not control. It was not static. It was a hum, like a whale song, but sharper, piercing. It echoed inside my skull. It was coming from inside my helmet. It could hear me. I banked the plane hard to the right, a sharp maneuver. At this speed, a turn like that could tear the airframe apart, but I did not care. I needed to get away, but it turned with me. It coiled like a snake, and then it touched me. A metallic screech rang out from my left wing. The plane shook violently. Warning lights lit up the cockpit like a Christmas tree. Hydraulic pressure dropping. Stability loss. I turned my head to look at the wing. What I saw froze the blood in my veins. Long, translucent tentacles had erupted from the entity. They were wrapped around my left wing. They were crushing the titanium alloy like it was paper. It was touching the superheated metal, and it was not even burning. It was pulling me, dragging me towards its main body. I reached for the ejection handle, but I stopped, because in that moment, the creature's skin became transparent. I saw inside it. I did not see a digestive system. I did not see a stomach. I saw faces, thousands of human faces, trapped in the creature's belly, frozen, screaming. Some wore pilot helmets. Some wore old flight jackets. Amelia Earhart, Flight 19. All those pilots who vanished over the ocean, they did not crash into the water. They were taken up. And now, it wanted to add me to the collection. I screamed into the radio. Control! It is eating me! The sky is eating me! And then, the glass of my canopy began to crack. The cracking sound was louder than the engines. It sounded like ice breaking on a frozen lake. But it was not ice. It was the reinforced quartz glass of my cockpit. The creature was pushing. It wanted in. I stared at the faces trapped inside its skin. They were not dead. They were moving. Their mouths were opening and closing in a silent scream. And then, I saw him. Major Collins, a U-2 pilot who went missing in 1969. The official report said he crashed in the ocean. They never found the body. Now I knew why. He was right there, inches from my face, floating in the blue jelly of the monster's stomach. He was looking at me. His eyes were wide with eternal panic. He was mouthing one word, join. Suddenly the pressure seal broke. A hiss filled the cockpit. The air was rushing out. My pressure suit instantly inflated. It squeezed my chest, my legs, my arms. It felt like being crushed by a giant hand. The warning computer was screaming, cabin altitude climbing, oxygen critical, but the sound inside my head was louder. The hum. It was not just a noise anymore. It was a command. It was telling me to open the canopy. It was telling me to stop fighting. It was telling me that it was warm inside. I felt my hand moving towards the manual release lever. Not because I wanted to, but because my brain was being rewritten. No, I gritted my teeth. I bit my lip until I tasted copper. I am not going to be a face in a jar. I needed to shake it off. I was flying at Mach 3.2. I had one card left to play. A maneuver that could tear the plane apart, but it was my only chance. An inlet unstart. The SR-71 engines are delicate beasts. They rely on a precise shockwave of air entering the intake. If that shockwave is disturbed, the engine violently rejects the air. It is like hitting a brick wall at 2,000 miles per hour. It is called an unstart. Usually, pilots do everything to avoid it. Today, I was going to cause it on purpose. I grabbed the inlet control switches. I looked at the monster on my left wing. I looked at Major Collins's screaming face. "Get off my plane," I whispered. I cut the power to the left inlet spike. The result was instant and violent. Bang! It sounded like a bomb went off inside the cockpit. The plane yawed violently to the left. My helmet slammed against the side of the canopy. The G-force was so sudden, so brutal, that my vision instantly went black. The shockwave from the engine expulsion was massive. It disrupted the air around the wing. It shattered the smooth airflow that the creature was riding on. I fought to stay conscious. I fought to grab the stick. The plane was tumbling. We were spinning out of the stratosphere. The screeching of the metal was deafening. But as my vision cleared, I looked to the left. The wing was empty. The violent shockwave had ripped the creature away. It could handle speed, it could handle heat, but it could not handle the chaotic violence of an SR-71 unstart. I saw it tumbling away into the darkness behind me, glowing with an angry violet light. I was free, but I was falling. I was falling from 80,000 feet in a flat spin. The sky was changing color fast. Black turned to purple. Purple turned to dark blue. The alarms were deafening. Left engine flameout. Hydraulic pressure critical. Generator failure. I had to restart the engine. But to do that, I needed thick air. I had to dive. I pushed the stick forward. The nose of the Blackbird pointed straight down at the Pacific Ocean. The altimeter unwound like a clock in a time machine. 70,000, 60,000, 50,000. The air got thicker. The rushing wind roared against the fuselage. At 30,000 feet, I hit the igniters. "Come on!" I screamed. Spark! The plane shook. A low rumble, then a roar. The left engine lit up. The power returned. The hydraulics kicked in. I pulled back on the stick, gently. If I pulled too hard, the wings would snap off. The horizon leveled out. I was breathing hard. My suit was soaked in sweat. My hands were shaking so bad I could barely hold the throttle. I looked at the mirror. My eyes were bloodshot. My nose was bleeding. I keyed the radio. "Control, this is Blackbird 1-1. Resuming flight level 300. Returning to base. Equipment failure." There was a long silence. Then a shaky voice replied, "Copy that, 1-1. Welcome back to Earth." I landed at Beale Air Force Base 2 hours later. I taxied to the hangar. They did not let the ground crew near the plane. A team of men in hazardous material suits surrounded the jet. They pointed Geiger counters at the hull. They pulled me out of the cockpit and took me straight to decontamination. They scrubbed my skin until it was raw. They took my flight suit. They took the tapes. Later, I was allowed to see the plane one last time. The SR-71 is made of titanium. It is dark gray, almost black, but the left wing, where the thing had touched it, was changed. The metal was not black anymore. It was bleached white. like old bone, and it was pitted as if acid had eaten into the alloy. The canopy glass was not cracked, it was etched. There were patterns in the glass, fractal spirals that looked like galaxies. They told me it was a high-altitude electrical discharge, swamp gas, ball lightning, the usual lies. They retired that specific plane. They said it had structural fatigue. They buried it in a scrapyard in Nevada. I retired a year later. I never went back to the edge of space. But sometimes, on a clear night, I look up. I do not look at the stars. I look at the darkness between the stars. Because I know it is not empty space. It is an ocean. And there are leviathans swimming in the dark, looking down at us, waiting for us to fly just a little bit higher. This is Captain Nightwhisper. If you want to join the crew, hit subscribe, keep your feet on the ground, and watch the sky.